hours would we need for Pete Rose?
If you include Marge Schott in that,
Couple days.
he's just a street kid from Cincinnati that
You're
grew up playing craps in the alley. He got to big leagues, and nobody's going to tell Pete Rose shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. I did, but nobody else would. He was our manager, and I was a farm director. And so his
All right. How is everyone out there? We are here with the Friends of Baseball podcast that we are going to be starting up with Eric Darty, Mr. Greg Riddoch, Doug Fiscus, and myself, Luis Gutierrez. So we're going to be bringing you guys some cool stories that Greg has had in the baseball world. And we're also going to be talking about the breakfast that's coming up on January 27th, Saturday, 8 a.m. We expect everyone to be there. There's going to be some really cool items. Silent auction should be going live soon, right?
In a few days, about middle of next week, it'll be up and live online.
So make sure you guys check that out. We will try to put that website on this YouTube channel. And then there's also going to be some really cool live auction items. And like always, the card show after the show is really cool. And so is what is the clinic called?
The Clint Barmas Baseball Clinic, hosted by Clint Barmas.
Yeah, so Clint Barmas is going to be, he probably doesn't remember this, but I was smoking him in the Platteville gym in basketball. He would only shoot threes, and I knew that because he didn't want to get hurt. So yeah, remember that, Clint? I'll make you remember.
Well, just real quick, it is the Top of the Nation Baseball Clinic.
Oh yeah, Top of the Nation.
Top of the Nation Baseball Clinic. Chance Dennison hosts it, and then his brother-in-law, Clint, as you were just discussing, is there with some former MLB players. So be sure to get kids there.
I would think Jason.
It's a lot of fun.
Jason's coming.
Jason's probably going to be there.
Jason Hirsch should be there.
Who else was there from last year that we talked to? A couple other guys. But anyways, this should be a fun series. Stay tuned. I think we're going to have probably anywhere from 5 to 7 episodes with Greg. And then from there, who knows? Maybe we'll even do an episode with Darryl Strawberry somehow. But anyways, I'm going to start from left to right. So Eric, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about yourself and what you do at Friends of Baseball.
So Eric Darty. Just real quick, what I do with Friends of Baseball is I'm the IT guy. A couple of years ago, I joined the committee. I finally fell to Doug's beggings of me joining the committee, and I said, all right, I'll join. After I was done coaching, I did coach competitively for about 10 years between club ball, did a little bit of high school. Wasn't really for me. But then in the process of my boys playing baseball, I got to meet Greg. And our oldest son, Parker Darty, was part of Greg's academy and did really great things with Greg. But yeah, I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Favorite baseball team?
Favorite baseball team?
Yep.
Well, and this isn't some kind of shameless plug for Greg, but certainly the San Diego Padres were my team. I was born in San Diego, lived there till 1992. Tony Gwinn was my absolute hero for the longest time. One story we could probably tell a little bit of later on is Doug and we coached together for a couple of years. We had a club team, and my oldest son was on the team, and we got to play the Tony Gwinn Baseball Academy.
Nice.
And Tony Gwynn's grandson was on that team. And so yeah, that's a story for another time. But yeah, it was San Diego Padres by chance were my favorite team.
We won, by the way.
We did win.
We beat them. It was exciting down to the wire.
It was.
Nice.
So that's me.
It's a big one.
I have a Tony Gwinn Jr. story that it'll probably come out in one of the episodes. So Greg, I'm going to skip you because this is all about you, this whole series. So I'm going to go straight to Doug over here.
Doug Fiscus. I've been part of the Friends of Baseball for 13 years now. Had a lot of fun, met a lot of good people, met a lot of good friends. Currently, I run the card show that we started about 3 years ago. Kind of run the silent auction and just kind of put out fires. Help Mark Welsh with whatever he needs help with. And we got a really good team right now, a lot of fun, a lot of new guys on the committee, and I'm having the most fun with it that I've had the entire time. And we kicked off a golf tournament this past fall. That was amazing. We had 22 MLB guys out there golfing with us. Riddoch was out there helping us out as well, and that was a blast. And we are going to do that again this coming year, this September, so kind of pencil that in.
Yeah, so if you golf, that was probably the most fun golf tournament I've ever been a part of, and I didn't even get to golf. I was just
Even
really,
if you don't golf.
Yeah, even if you don't golf.
Just come out, put yourself on a team and go have some fun with friends.
It's a lot of fun, honestly, and all the guys, all the MLB guys, they're super cool.
It was a blast.
Yeah,
we had a really good time.
They've all been calling asking when they can come back. So
Well, two of my players came to this thing.
yeah, expect to see those guys back too.
If you know, that was fun. I called Wade Boggs the other day. He's a big time hunter. He's busy traveling Africa, and he's got all the biggest whatever. I don't know anything about big game hunting, but he's not a speaker. And so I said, yeah, we got this cool stuff going on where I live, and a lot of your teammates and people have been here. So, but anyway, Ron Robinson, when I saw him, I've seen him since. He was our #1 pick in Cincinnati years ago. And he was floundering in AA. And everybody was wondering, well, maybe his career, or maybe we made a mistake. So in a meeting that we had on our major league staff and the general manager, I said, you know what, we're going to make mistakes. And so why don't I send him to Indianapolis in AAA, and if he doesn't make the team or have any success, we made a mistake, we're done. He never came home. So he asked me at the tournament, he said, I heard this thing that led back to you, and I want to know how much truth there is in that. And then he told me the story, and I said, yeah. He said, I want to thank you. I said, what, for swinging the bat or throwing the ball? I said, I gave you the opportunity, but you closed the door. And you had a great major league career, okay? And the other guy was Lance McCullers, okay? And when I was coaching in San Diego, he was our setup for Goose Gossage, okay? So we're playing a game, and Benito Santiago gets thrown out of the game. So now...
that's part for the course for Benito.
well, that was him. So I'm having a senior moment here.
Lance McCullers?
No, manager of, Bochy. So Bochy's our bullpen catcher. He comes to the game, and I look down the left field line to our bullpen, and the bullpen catcher's catching Lance, and Goose is getting up to get started, and there's another pitcher catching him. So I told Larry Bowl, the manager, I'm not going to watch this. And I ran underneath the bleachers all the way down to where our bullpen was down the left field line. And I told the pitcher, get out of here, I don't want you to get hurt. And I put this helmet on that was in the bullpen. It was Bochy's helmet. And just as Goose let the first ball go, warming up, the helmet slid down over my eyes. I'm not wearing a cup, I don't have a chest protector on, and the ball hits the wall and goes back on one hop to Goose. And I went, that's it, I'm not dying for anybody. But the thing was, Bochy's got an 8 1/4 hat. That's how big his head is.
That's a melon.
So when you saw him in the World Series, you had no idea. People were looking at him that know him and going, holy Jesus, look at that helmet this guy's got. So inside the game, like at the golf tournament, it was fun. And I've called 2-3 guys saying, hey, some of these other guys had a great time. They'll fly you out here. They'll take you up. Like Lance went with his wife, rented a car, went up to past Estes and went over the hill and went and saw as many sights as he could see of Colorado, and went down to the airport, turned it in, went back to Tampa, Florida.
Nice.
So maybe it'll be easier to, guys that like to play
back.
golf, I can't because of my spinal fusions, I can't swing, but maybe other guys that want to come be a part of that.
Well, you know what? These are just little tidbits of what some of these stories are like with Greg.
Yeah.
So that was a short one.
Yeah.
But
we had a blast, and
oh yeah, the golf tournament. I mean, we can't plug it enough at this point. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's already set for, what is it, September 20th this year?
September 20th at Greeley Country Club.
Greeley Country
Yeah.
Club. So yeah, we'll probably top it out at about 22 teams again, and we'll get to. I imagine it's going to be even bigger showing than last year. So
Never too early to sign up, because I know there was about 5 or 6 teams that weren't able to sign up, and they were like, "Tell me exactly when this is
Yeah.
going to start," because
we'll
never too early to sign up.
We'll put it out on Facebook as soon as we can. We'll get the registrations going as soon as we can. But Luis, we didn't. You've been talking a lot, but let's hear about you.
Yeah, so Luis Gutierrez, I am Eric's and Doug's assistant at Friends of Baseball. I just do what they tell me to do and show up, whatever's needed.
I think you're the graphic designer.
Oh yeah, I'm the graphic designer. I just design stuff, and sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it doesn't. Doug, you didn't tell us your favorite baseball team.
Oh, well, I guess be a little bit of a homer. Keep track of the Rockies. Growing up, I was a Mets guy, and so I'm super excited to have Darryl Strawberry coming to town next week, and I'm freaking out about that a little bit.
Well, you have to understand.
Kind of a nerd.
Some of the people listening is, we're all about the same age except Greg. And
Yeah.
so a lot of us, when we were kids, the Rockies weren't around.
Nope.
Right. They didn't start till I was 12. And so Luis is pointing to his favorite team. I have to mute myself when he talks about it. But
What people don't know, unless they're older like me, Joe Tennyson owned KFKA, and he broadcast all my games live back to Greeley, Colorado. And that was
That's
something
cool.
because people could listen and follow me, because I'm just a normal guy. I'm your neighbor and have your children in school and that kind of stuff. And so after that year, of course, the Rockies came into play. See you later. He didn't broadcast my games, but I don't have any idea how he got the feed to do that. But everybody was following my games in Greeley, Colorado, because that's where I'm from.
That's cool.
So I thought that was cool about
That's
Joe.
cool.
And I had all of Joe's kids in school when I was a teacher. all
That's
of them.
awesome.
well, you had an impact for sure on some players, and we'll be talking about that. I know, when we were talking about Lance McCullers, we all met for dinner the night before the golf tournament. And I went over and I talked to him because, again, the Padres were my team, until we moved to Colorado. But so I got to meet him, and I was like, yeah, Greg Riddoch will be here tomorrow. And his eyes lit up, and he kind of sat up a little bit straighter in his chair. He said, really? Oh, wow. And he got super excited that you were going to be there. So I think that's just a little indication of the type of coach that you were.
The other part that's amazing, you feel helpless as a manager and you're given players, but the last lineup that I penciled in was Tony Fernandez led off, 10-time All-Star. Tony Gwinn hit second. Gary Sheffield hit third. Fred McGriff hit fourth. Benito Santiago hit fifth. And at the end of the year, I was trying to talk my general manager into re-signing Jack Clark, because I'd hit him sixth and defensed for him in the 7th inning. I mean, I had murderer's row. We scored multiples, and when you read some of this stuff in a minute, how many games that we won on the road and broke records for Padres. Well, how can you not do well? We didn't have much pitching. Andy Bennis was a rookie and everybody else was my age. So, but it's all about pitching and defense in my mind. And so when you don't have those two things, it's hard just to win with just defense. So anyway.
Well, so here, maybe I can start reading these highlights here in a minute.
Here, let me tell you why I'm a Yankees fan, because people always
No
ask
one
me.
really wants to.
Nobody cares, I know, but I'm going to tell you guys anyways. So,
This guy right here was a
oh
pitcher
yeah,
on my 75 National or Northwest League Championship team, the one that has reunions.
Larry
He's been a pitching
Rothschild.
coach for the Yankees, for
Yeah.
the Reds, for Lou Piniella in Seattle. For 17 years in the big leagues, he's a major league pitching coach. He was my closer on this team.
Nice. So the reason why I'm a Yankees fan is because, and Obed probably knows a little bit about this. In Mexico, growing up, we got 2 teams. Can you guys guess who that was?
The Yankees would probably be one of them.
What do you think the other one is?
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers. So the Dodgers and the Yankees ruled in all of Mexican TV. And so I was like, I'm not going to be a Dodgers fan. Okay. Even though my dad was a huge Fernando Valenzuela guy, I was like, nah, I think I'm going to like the Yankees. I like the pinstripes and the clean shaves, And so back in like late 80s, that's all we got. Yankees and Dodgers, and then whoever they played. So then when the Rockies came around, 1992 or so, I mean, I like the Rockies, and I'm a homer guy too, but that's my Yankee story. So
Well, growing up as a Padres fan, we were born to hate the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
It was
especially now. Especially
wow.
right now.
That's a whole other show.
Yeah, it is. So, anyways,
Well,
we're
let me
gonna
go ahead
turn
and
it to
read some of
Eric
these
here.
highlights from Greg, and then we'll let Greg maybe do a little introduction to himself. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your resume, but then we want to kind of get into a little bit more meat of why we're here talking, and that's to talk about one of our favorite players of all time. So first, let me go ahead and read this off. So here's some of Greg's highlights. Greg enjoyed his first full season of managing the major league level in 1991, leading the Padres to an 84-78 record. The 84 wins equaled the second best win total in the history of the club at that time. Despite major injuries to pitching staff and having to use then club record 48 players, Greg rallied the troops to a 44-35 record after the All-Star break. The Padres also won 20 of their last 30 games at Jack Murphy Stadium. Just a little side note, that was the first place I ever saw a baseball game.
Jack Murphy.
The Padres posted a 42-39 record away from home, making the third time in club history that a team finished with a winning record on the road. The 1991 Padres established a club record for fewest errors in a season, finishing the year with then record of .982 fielding percentage. Under Greg's guidance, the 1992 Padres had a major league best record in one-run games, coming through in the clutch with a 28-12 record. In 1992, Greg was one of 4 current managers at the time with a winning lifetime record. His team also had a record of 38 come-from-behind victories, establishing him as one of baseball's great motivators.
I have to give credit. We did a CD with MC Hammer.
Nice.
And if you remember, in the 7th inning, if we were behind, they had taken pictures of all of us, my staff and all the people going, too legit to quit.
Yeah.
And MC in the middle of it, and the fans would get into that, Padre, the Paz, too legit to quit, and then that music could go on, and we came from behind all these games because it pumped everybody up, thanks to MC Hammer.
MC
Well,
Hammer, man.
Like I mentioned, Jack Murphy Stadium was one of the first places I saw a baseball game. And it was Padres versus the Expos. I remember sitting on the first base side. And then after the game, they would always do kind of stuff. They had the military appreciation days where the military would come because, Jack Murphy Stadium was near Oceanside, which is where Camp Pendleton is. Marines would come and they would do demonstrations of, they wouldn't actually shoot anything, but they bring their cannons and do kind of shooting blanks and things of that nature. And then after the game, the Beach Boys would come and do a concert. So that happened to be my first concert too. Same day as the baseball game.
Dude.
But yeah.
Well, on
pretty cool stuff
Sundays,
at Jack Murphy.
I'd take the batting practice balls after we were done taking BP because they had their sections for the Army and the Navy and the Marines, and they would cheer, and I'd go out there till all the balls were gone, and I'd fire those suckers into the third section up there, and they'd all be cheering. Then I'd go over here and I'd throw 4 or 5 here and 4 or 5 more.
Yeah.
It was kind of a tradition to be able to do that because of the military people that are in
They were
San
so
Diego.
Oh,
close.
That's awesome.
We're gonna have to save that one for another time.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks again.
We're going to be coming to you probably about every week or every 2 weeks when we're going to be releasing these episodes. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.